Back to a brand new video. Today all the parts are coming in for the 335 IS. If you guys are new to the channel, or if you're old to the channel, neither of you guys will know about the 335 IS because I bought this car during my long YouTube break. So before this, I had a 986 Porsche Boxster S. That thing exploded, got 335 IS, and here we are now. Turbos on that exploded, so now we have to replace the turbos. It's a little bit early in the morning, but yeah, we got to go pick up some jack stands, and then Maykel from Straight 6 Garage channel, I'm gonna be linking him in the description, as long as all the parts that I'm using in this video, will be meeting me at my house so we can get this done. This might take a little while, but we'll see what happens. See you guys in the next clip. All right, guys, so my certified mechanic is here from BMW. Maykel, originally I thought it was blown turbos, but now he's trying to scare me and say that my head gasket is blown. That does look bad, actually. Now that I'm looking at it from the camera's point of view, it's been sitting for 3 months, so I'm gonna blame it on that. We're gonna jack it up, start with an oil change, right, Maykel, and then go from there, whether it's the turbos being blown, which I know they're blown because it's not making any power, or if my head gasket's blown as well. My engine had previously flooded. This entire compartment was filled with water, so that's what I'm hoping this condensation is from, is that the engine was just flooded. Still not a great thing to happen, but it's better than cracked head gasket. So we're gonna go ahead and put it up on the jack and then start with an oil change. Okay, I went ahead and paid my mechanic a lot of money to do this.
Tell him to bring me my money. Yeah!
So he's gonna be undoing the bolt right now to drain your oil. It's a 17 millimeter, and it's gonna be pure yellow oil. Well, I mean, you're the one doing it.
Look at all that milk.
That's not milk. That's not bad.
Look at this.
Is that milky?
This is hella milky.
No, that's clean oil.
This is. Oh no! This is brown.
At the same time, though, that looks like water. That doesn't really look like coolant.
This looks like me after Taco Bell. Dude, that is insane.
That's good, right?
Yeah, it's a good thing that your oil is milky.
I mean, there could be metal in it, right? I mean,
that's even worse.
Well, I'm hoping there's not metal in it.
No, that should be fine. We'll see. Hopefully you're right on your theory.
On just the water getting in the engine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a little bit of water does this. It doesn't necessarily have to be a significant. Well, we'll wait now.
After taking out the oil filter, it looks perfect. That's exactly how your oil should look. No issues. I'm not seeing any metal flake though. No.
So I think you're good. No metal flakes, just brown.
Because the biggest thing is big metal flakes, right? It's not even just a little sparkle, it's bigger flakes, so. That's just, oh no. Couple oil changes, she'll be back on the road. All right, guys, so we did the oil change. It's still milky. It's idling normal, but it goes in and out of misfiring. Battery shot, we know that the engine was underwater. What did we add in the engine, in the coolant system? We added block seal. It says permanent, but we'll see if it stops the white smoke coming out from the exhaust. That's the biggest thing we're diagnosing right now, is just the white smoke. So hopefully if that solves the issue, we know we have a cracked head gasket. If it doesn't, then it can be a lot of other things. Right now we're kind of stalling putting new turbos in because it doesn't make sense if the engine's not running properly. So first we got to get everything diagnosed before we start doing any engine modifications. All right, guys, so I've had a long day with the BMW. It was having a misfire issue for a little bit. Chase that down. I think we have that fixed, but I'm not entirely sure. Like, I'm not 100% sure on it. There's a possibility it's still there. There's a possibility it's gone. But tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening, since we put that sealant stuff, it should seal up the gasket if it is leaking. So I'm gonna hope that that stuff did its job. Hope. If it's still putting a lot of white smoke, but it's not misfiring, then I kind of have an idea it's the turbos. and we're gonna be driving it to a warehouse so that we can work on it in the shade, so me and Maykel aren't out in the sun. It's gonna be an exciting video, I'm not gonna lie. The updates that are gonna be coming out for this car are gonna be crazy. If it's that bad of a blown head gasket, or it's a cracked block and the sealant doesn't do its job and it's misfiring, or anything else besides going perfectly correct where it's drivable tomorrow making smoke, I'm tiny bit worried, just a little bit. But at the same time, Coco's not too worried about it, so I'm not tripping. Today again, we're gonna be working on the 335 IS. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to drop the subframe today, but everything else we're gonna be getting done. We're gonna be doing another oil flush and draining out the radiator fluid. Today we might be putting in the relocated intakes. We might wait until the turbos. Intercooler, I think I should try to get in today. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. Today's job is just removing everything, so let's get to it. All right, guys, we're in Maykel's certified BMW workshop. We got the car lifted up, oil drained out. Today, I don't have my tow hook, so he's gonna have to bring one. But for today, we're just gonna be uninstalling as much as we can and getting free labor out of Maykel.
Tell him to bring me my money.
Off the wheels, and then go from there. All right, guys, so far we've taken off this intake side. We will be putting in relocated intakes, so this front inlet is gonna come off, and same with the rear inlet, but that's gonna be a little bit later on. Right now we're dealing with the oil filter housing gasket. I bought a replacement for preventative maintenance. I know those leak and take out your belt. But so far everything's going, well, Maykel is the reason that things are going smoothly. If it was just me, I'd still be freaking out because we wouldn't have get started. But everything's going pretty smoothly. Coolant and oil drained. Tomorrow we'll be probably dropping the subframe, not today because Maykel forgot the part that we needed. But yeah, so everything's going good. All right, guys, so after taking off the charge pipe, it was completely full of oil. So I'm guessing inside the intake is full of oil, but that's just insane to me how much oil was in there. I was surprised the car was driving because it was just completely full. It is the next day. Today is the day we're dropping the subframe. Here you guys see, we got it repainted with some new wheels. It's looking real good. Converted it to an N52. There's no reason to have a turbo on these cars. So we got a couple bits from AutoZone. We got the external Torx bits. I was missing those. He was missing a 10mm socket, of course. Flashlight and a torque wrench, so we can get this work done. Let's get this free labor in. Okay, quick update. He got coolant dumped on him, so he might go blind, but that's okay. We have the engine hoisted up. We have on the bottom of the car, subframe is dropped and moved out of the way. We have most of the coolant lines unplugged. The rear turbo is our bad turbo. Try to see if I can zoom in on it. That one is filling up with oil. The front turbo looks pretty dry, but you know, both are getting replaced. We're gonna let this coolant line drip a little bit and then continue. We gotta take off the water pump. It's usually recommended to replace your water pump while you're in here, but I don't got that type of money. Sorry for not giving you guys an update after a long time. I'm trying to get as much stuff as we can done today. It's very likely that we're not gonna be able to get this done in one day, but on the off chance that we are able to get this done in one day, new record, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, so that's where we are currently. I still have my relocated intakes that have to go in the car when we put the turbos in. But yeah, so I'll keep you guys updated as much as I can, but like I said, we're just trying to get stuff on. So if the next clip is the turbos on, that's great. If not, that means we ran into a problem. So yeah, I'll try to keep you guys updated as much as possible. This is a lot. All right, guys, so super big update. We got the turbos out. And at first I was like, these aren't blown because, you know, like the wheel would still be able to spin inside the turbo. I was like, oh man, maybe my turbos aren't blown. But after further inspection, let me show you guys the difference. So right here, this one. So I'm switching to the main camera to show you guys a better view of it. So like I said, this one, This one's not terrible, but this one's just full of oil. And let me show you this bearing here, if I can get it in the light. So you guys can see, that is not supposed to move like that. So that is definitely blown. So I'm glad that we were able to find that out. Thank you, Maykel. Maykel did most of the work, if not all the work. So I really appreciate him helping out. This will definitely probably be posted on his channel. But the turbos are out. Maykel said that we might have to pack up, but I don't know. I don't know. I think we can get the new ones in there.
Hell no.
Okay, so right now we're replacing all the seals for the intake manifold, and then Maykel is just tightening them to however he wants.
It's 15 foot-pounds.
Maykel told me we can get this all done today, even the turbo, so we're gonna see if he holds up his end of the deal. We're gonna try our best, but it's probably not gonna happen. But if it does happen, that's awesome. All right, guys, so now for the turbos, we've installed all of our oil lines. Coolant lines we're gonna be putting in once they're already below, but now it's just time to throw them in. We're gonna get done today.
Maybe not.
All right, guys, welcome to what I hope is the last day of fixing up this E93. I want to show you, this is the old intercooler, super small, but I wanted to show you guys what's inside the intercooler. I don't know if you guys can, pure oil. This whole thing is completely filled up with oil. So this car, because the turbos were blown, put like a whole quart inside of that. That is insane. Right there we have the new intercooler going in from the bottom. Up top I can show you guys, I have one intake here and one of the intakes relocated. The rear one you have to cut in order to get to, and I don't feel like doing that. And to be honest, it's better to have one relocated than none. The coolant reservoir is staying over there. I have this line coming from the catch can so that when it dumps oil, it dumps it. Well, now that, never mind, I gotta fix that. But either way, we're pretty close to done. We have to throw back up the subframe and everything, but yeah, I'll update you guys again soon. But this is crazy how much progress we're making. Nearly done. All thanks to this guy. So here we are with things. Right now, Maykel is putting on the Mickey Mouse attachment. That's gonna give us some extra boost. All right, everything is put back on the engine. We have the relocated intakes. We have the intercooler is now in. Turbos are installed. Oil filter housing gasket that is replaced. And the Mickey Mouse is now metal Mickey Mouse, so that'll definitely boost our power. So now the only thing besides attaching that coolant hose is refilling the system with coolant and with oil. I'm still not sure about my spark plugs because they were wet, so there's a chance that my spark plugs are fouled. So I am kind of expecting misfires, but we're gonna see what happens. There's a good chance that it might still be okay, but I'm just gonna end up replacing those in a later video. We're gonna be running stage 2 map on MHD, first with 91 octane, but then I gotta go switch over to E40 so that the engine runs healthier, and we'll see where that puts us. But before we even get to any of that, we need to see if it starts, so that's what comes after this. All right, guys, so this is one of the last updates while the car is in the air. We're about to jack it back down. Maykel is going through some very, very serious emotions right now, very tired. Everything is on the car. Maykel is very underpaid. Max is very underwhelmed. Very, very close, but it's not. So we got the intercooler in. We got relocated intakes in. Mickey Mouse hose, the most important part. That's in. We have the aluminum charge pipe. We have oil housing gasket, the turbos. Everything is ready. We just now got to put fluids in it. Then we have to, yeah, in the intake manifold got new gaskets, but now we just need to put oil, coolant, flush the system. You got to prime the turbo, so we're gonna do that as well. You can turn it over a couple times, get the oil flowing through them, and then we can finally try and start it. It's not gonna start. Okay. All right, guys. Sorry we didn't record the first startup, but that was a bit stressful. Maykel, the mechanic, he fixed the car.
We still have a lot of smoke coming, but it's just because of how much oil was on those downpipes. But everything is looking mint. Really happy with the way it came out. Like I said, it's gonna take a couple weeks for the smoke to clear, but it's running so much better now. Now it's just seeing what codes pop up and clearing them. But the engine looks good. Not a lot of lights on the dash. You know, it's normal BMW stuff.
Alright guys, welcome back. In the previous clip you saw the car was running perfectly fine. Everything was going good, everything was going right. Sounded great, no misfires. When we pulled it out of the driveway, sorry it's a bit early right now, but when we pulled it out of the driveway, it turned out it started leaking oil. Yeah, it started leaking oil. When we pulled out the driveway, there was a big puddle of oil, big oil leak. Not anything I could just ignore. Yeah, so what ended up happening, or we believe happened, was I never replaced the gaskets or the O-rings on the oil lines that go to the turbo. And so that's my suspicion is where it's coming from. So I cannot stress this enough. If you're doing the turbos on this car, your oil lines are already out of your turbos, go ahead, just replace them. Replace those O-rings. Don't go to Harbor Freight. Maykel has done a job before where they ordered the Harbor Freight turbo seals and they started leaking. So just suck it up, go to FCP Euro or go to BMW and order those O-rings that you need. I think it's about 4. But of course I'll link in the description exactly how many you'll need. It just sucks. It sucks because I thought the car was going to be done, but now it might be another day or 2 of dropping the subframe possibly and accessing those turbos to replace those lines. Really disappointed myself. I should have replaced those O-rings, but here we are today, just replacing them. So be aware of that. It'll save you a lot of trouble.
We have the car pulled out right now. I kind of wanted to update you guys. Hold on really quickly. I kind of wanted to update you guys on the car. It looks all put together, but there's a small issue where the turbos are leaking oil, and so we originally didn't replace the O-rings on the oil lines, so we went ahead and replaced 2 of them, but it looks like those might not have sealed properly considering that it's still leaking just a little bit of oil from it, I believe. So we're thinking next week we might tackle that and hit the oil lines. But if you guys do this turbo swap, I'm pretty sure I said this in the previous clip, please replace all the oil lines. And if you don't replace the oil lines, you have to replace the O-rings on the oil lines. It's required. Honestly, from the progress we made, Maykel did an awesome job. Without him, I would not have been able to finish this project. But we're definitely gonna have to revisit the seals. Yeah, you guys can see that VRSF intercooler, but we're definitely gonna have to revisit the seals. But yeah, that's it for this video. Rev it, real quick. See what it sounds like. Yeah, that sounds really good actually. But yeah, so that's gonna end this video. We're not gonna post a video on fixing the oil lines because it's a very small leak. Maykel, what do you think? How do you think the job went?
Like 90% good, 10% bad.
I'm gonna say 98%. I think it went better than I expected. Okay, so I wanted to make one last update video on the car, the 335IS. Me and Maykel, or Maykel specifically, we were able to fix that oil leak. The car has 0 oil leaks on the oil line, 0 oil leaks anywhere. The Mickey Mouse connector, that might be leaking coolant, I believe, but it's not a huge deal. What I recommend when you replace your turbos, when you replace it with, if you plan on going with stock twins or upgraded twins, Harbor Freight has special O-rings to use. And so I'll link it in the description, the same way that I'm linking everything else that I use in this video. But it's a special material, and you have to use it for the oil lines because it's oil, and it's very hot oil, It can't just use cheap O-rings. It has to be a specific type from Harbor Freight. I did try the OEM BMW O-rings first, and they started leaking. Surprisingly, somehow the stock BMW O-rings, they started leaking on me. So I don't know if I got the right part number, so I honestly don't know about that one. The 335IS is complete. It made 600 wheel horsepower. I still have cats, so I shouldn't say 600 wheel horsepower, in the ballpark of 500 on E50 mix. So the car's been doing great. I believe I'm going to have to service the clutch pack and the DCT soon. It feels like it's going out. And I'm not sure if I want to do that or if I want to sell the car. I've owned the car for about 1.5 years, and honestly, I've driven it only 50% of the time that I've owned it, just because it's been down for the rest of the time. If you own a 335IS, be aware it's an N54. Be aware the turbos will go out eventually. Be prepared to replace spark plugs, coil packs, intake manifold. Well, you want to replace it, but changing the O-rings on that. Install an oil catch can. Install an aluminum charge pipe. Before you even take off your cats, do intercooler. Whether that's you do the 5-inch or the 7-inch. I went with an 8.5-inch custom intercooler from VRSF, and I'll be linking that in the description as well. I never took off the cats off my car, but I highly recommend it just because I do believe that it takes a lot of stress off of the turbo and the rest of the car. So if you're in a state where you can go catless, or if you're in that 2-year period where it's every 2 years you get your car smogged, take out the cats. It's just an easier way to keep your stock turbos or your upgrade turbos flowing better. You can make an easy 100 horsepower if you're already on upgraded turbos. I can feel it. I know it's in the car. It's just those cats are kind of holding me back. Stock fuel pump, you can run E50 mix. Like I said, so for the 335IS, look out for all the normal N54 problems, but on top of that, worry about turbos, worry about the transmission, because the DCT, yes, it's from the E92 M3, but it can't handle the torque that the N54 makes when you're pushing power. So yeah, guys, that's going to wrap up the video. Car's been great. I'll make another video if I decide to sell it or if I decide to fix it. Whatever else I plan to do this car, I will keep making videos on it. If you guys can support me, subscribe and like, that'd be awesome. If we can get this video to 500 likes, I might do a walk around of the car where it's at right now. And trust me, there's a lot of parts on that car that we did after the turbos. Not even before the turbos, but after the turbos I installed a lot of stuff. So that'd be cool to go through. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comment down below. Like I said, me and Maykel, we went through this whole process, so I can kind of help you out and figure out where you're at if you need any help. This is 100% a doable project at home, but it will take up to a week. Just expect a week. All right, thank you. Have a good day.